The following presentation is for informational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure your condition, or to be a substitute for advice from your physician or other healthcare professional. Welcome to Tools for Healing and Well-being. I'm your host, Elaine Jagelski. In this episode, we will explore havening, as in safe haven, which was developed by Dr. Ronald Rudin, and technically along with his brother as well. It's a psychosensory therapy that uses touch, such as rubbing the arms, hands, or face, to create delta brain waves, which are very slow brain waves that are associated with deep sleep, in combination with guided visualization or positive affirmations to help alleviate emotional distress. Don't worry if the following sounds a little bit technical, as it just provides a bit of an explanation as to how it works for those that like a little bit of the science aspect of it. So these calming delta brain waves help what's called depotentiate or unplug what are called AMPA receptors that are plugged onto the surface of your brain cells, in particular within the amygdala, which is a major processing center for emotions and often associated with the stress response at the time a trauma took place. By applying havening touch, the delta waves unplug these AMPA receptors, which reduce the emotional charge and anything that is encoded as part of a trauma that may have been experienced at any point in your life. Its benefits are grounded in its ability to down-regulate the nervous system and reprogram your brain's response to trauma or stress. Some of the researched key benefits include stress and anxiety reduction. Havening activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of our nervous system that is about relaxing or rest and digest, and helps to shift away from a state of fight or flight, which is associated with the sympathetic nervous system. This shift helps reduce overall stress and anxiety levels, so it helps to decrease them. Studies have shown that havening techniques can effectively reduce anxiety, especially in people dealing with trauma or chronic stress. The second benefit is in helping to relieve trauma and also PTSD. Havening is particularly beneficial if you are dealing with trauma, including PTSD. It works by altering how your brain stores traumatic memories, reducing their emotional impact. Through touch and specific affirmations, the therapy helps disrupt the brain's association with trauma, desensitizing the emotional charge that is tied to the memory of the trauma. Early studies suggest that havening can help unencode the trauma, potentially leading to lasting reductions in PTSD symptoms. The third benefit is enhanced emotional resilience. Havening helps build emotional resilience by reducing your sensitivity to stressors. Regular practice can increase your ability to manage emotional challenges with greater ease. Some of the benefits is that it fosters emotional regulation, allowing you to react more calmly and effectively to everyday stresses. The fourth benefit is pain relief. Havening has been explored for its potential in reducing chronic pain by targeting the emotional components of pain perception. By calming the nervous system and altering emotional responses, it may reduce the subjective experience of pain. The fifth benefit is improved sleep. By promoting relaxation and reducing emotional distress, havening can help improve your sleep quality. Individuals who practice havening techniques before bed may experience deeper and more restful sleep. Reduction in anxiety and stress also leads to a decrease in insomnia or restless sleep patterns. The sixth benefit is self-empowerment and confidence. Havening fosters a sense of self-control by allowing you to engage in self-soothing practices. This empowerment can build your confidence in managing emotional responses, contributing to improved mental health and self-worth. The gentle self-touch and affirmations help you to break negative thought patterns, leading to a more positive outlook. Havening offers benefits across mental health, trauma relief, emotional regulation, and physical well-being, making it a versatile tool for improving your quality of life. The touch that was referred to is associated with creating the delta brain waves. And so what the developers found was that the hands can be a useful area to create delta brain waves. Even better is stroking along the sides of the arms, so starting at the shoulders and just sweeping down. The hands can be especially useful if you're somewhere where you're wanting to start to create more calm, because you can always put them under the table so it can be done more publicly, where something like this might be done more so in private. Now, even better for creating the delta brain waves is along the hairline or along just the sides of the face, so just a gentle sweep, and under the eyes. So these areas are especially effective in creating those delta brain waves and enhancing that sense of relaxation. We will do a bit of a practice that shows the combination of the movements in relation to certain phrases or affirmations that are utilized in order to decrease the anxiety, tension, and to assist with a different response, and to actually, as was mentioned, unplug the parts of the brain that are associated with the stressor. It gets rid of the stressor so that whatever was a trauma now becomes a memory. It's no longer triggered in the way it previously was. Welcome to this episode. If you don't mind introducing yourself.
Well, I'm Jerry Bronson, and I used to be the nurse at the college. And from there, I went on to do some other practices like massage therapy, visceral massage, educational kinesiology, touch for health, and healing touch. So I've been involved in lots of things. I'm a retired nurse now. I'm still doing a bit of healing touch and a bit of educational kinesiology for family and friends.
Wonderful. And what are your family circumstances as far as, do you have grandkids?
I have 2 children, and one's married and she's pregnant right now. So that's really exciting. My first grandchild's going to come.
Absolutely. All right. Now, we had a brief conversation previous to this, and you had indicated that there are times that you have noticed that you've experienced intense stress, anxiety. And so can you just talk a little bit about that? You don't have to go into full details or anything along those lines. Mm-hmm. But if you don't mind just sort of just talking a bit about that.
Yes, well, at times when things happen, they happen in threes. 6s and sometimes 9s.
Okay.
So I've had several of those. And it gets to the point where, your thinking isn't straight, you're not sleeping, you're feeling very anxious. And I know how to release some of that with the educational kinesiology, but I don't do it for myself.
Right, right. Yeah, sometimes as a practitioner,
Right.
you're the person that's helping other people, and then, but when it comes to yourself, unfortunately, not applying all of the things that one potentially could.
That's right.
Right, okay. And are you aware of, and again, you do not have to go into any details, are you aware of any traumas that might still be, that and you may not be conscious of it, and that's okay, that you are conscious of still experiencing the reverberations of or the impact of
Absolutely,
at this time?
absolutely, yeah.
Great. Well then, no, it's not great. But for the purposes of this, it serves well in that regard.
Yes, it's kind of like a post-traumatic stress. When I go to the doctor, it just hits me.
Okay, right. Yes. Okay. So, have you heard of havening before, other than me sort of mentioning it?
I haven't.
All right.
No,
Well,
I find
wonderful.
it quite fascinating. Tell me more about it.
Okay, I will do that. So with havening, it was developed by the Rudin brothers, and they're neuroscientists, neuroresearchers, and they discovered, and it was a way to work with trauma and reducing stress and anxiety. And you're not alone in that regard, whether that's good or bad news, as far as anxiety is experienced by so many people. And I've spoken about this on some of the other episodes, and where it's been identified by the World Health Organization as a leading mental health issue. So globally, it's an issue for so many people. And so looking at whatever strategies, techniques can be utilized by people for themselves, anywhere, anytime, so much the better. So here's another technique that a person could potentially use for that. So what they found, okay, so I'll get into the havening part of it in a moment, like the actual technique of it. But typically, when a trauma is recorded or created, we'll say, maybe it's not the right exact words, in the brain, usually there has to be certain conditions present for it to then sort of be calcified, if you like, or to be really set as that is now a trauma. It has triggers, and there's an emotional response that goes with that. And so it's quite a complex process of how that actually occurs in the brain. And but what the havening does is that this pathway that's been created through a number of different mechanisms, including the hypothalamus, the amygdala, AMPA receptors, it depotentiates all of that. It depotentiates the AMPA receptors, so that eventually what happens is that even if a trigger shows up for the person, then it's just a memory. They no longer have that emotional response. That pathway has basically or essentially disappeared. And so what the Rudin brothers found is that by creating delta brain waves, then that made a difference in regard to clearing the system, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and delta brain waves are very, very slow.
Right.
We typically experience them naturally when we're in a very deep sleep state. And so it's about 0.5 to, I think it's about 2 hertz or so. So very, very slow. And so the best ways, what they found is the best ways to create that in a waking state, so to start to create those delta brain waves, is first of all, and so if you can do this with me if you like.
Okay, sure.
And so just to kind of start, we're moving through, and that by rubbing the hands, or even the fingers, like just sort of stroking the fingers, that was good. That was good for creating delta brain waves. And this one can be handy if, let's say, you're somewhere and you can't do the full havening process because the environment isn't conducive to that, right? There's other people, but
Right.
under the table,
Yes.
You could be doing this and no one would necessarily know that this is what's happening. Then even better is along the sides of the arms. So then it's a brushing off the shoulders, off the elbows. Okay? Yeah, you got it. Yeah. And so you're just brushing off the shoulders, off the arms. Yeah. Even better is just either into or in front of or alongside, just anywhere in this region, alongside the hairline, off the face, or under the eyes. Okay, so these are both great. So it's just alongside or under the eyes.
And I can do this by myself anytime?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you got it. So, and then often it's great to mix and match because sometimes maybe an area will get sensitized, or let's say a person has makeup on or something and they don't want to sit there and be doing this excessively.
Right.
Because you don't have to go really hard as well. Like you can go lightly, but still.
Yeah.
So, you can do some like this and some like this and some like this. You can add this in if you like.
Okay.
So you can kind of mix and match as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
And so essentially how it works, and we're going to do two different versions of this. And the first one involves, so what would happen, so I'll kind of explain it, and then I'll talk you through doing it. All
Okay.
right? So typically what would happen is that when a person found themselves or finds themselves in extreme anxiety or tension or whatever extent of stress and anxiety, or they know they've been triggered and they are feeling it, and either they know they're heading towards spiraling down, or that ship has already sailed and they are in the midst of it, right? They are having a panic attack or something close to. Mm-hmm. Then you don't try to ignore it. So this is one of those techniques where you don't try to put it away. It's like, go ahead and feel it. Just let it, all the emotions, let them keep coming forward. And then you start. And so as was mentioned, you can start with the hands, right? Or you can go wherever you like, right? You can go into the arms, and you would just keep feeling it. You would just keep feeling it. You would just keep feeling it. What it starts to create is a bit of a dissonance, because you've got the triggered emotion, right? The anxiety, the panic, everything that's happening in the amygdala at that point. But now you're stimulating the creation of these delta waves. Mm-hmm. So the brain then does some interesting things. And so what starts to occur, as was mentioned, is you start to clear that pathway. Mm-hmm. So this might be a minute. Mm-hmm. This might be 10 minutes. But eventually, you'll notice that there's a change. Mm-hmm. There's a difference.
A difference, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is, like I said, I'm just going to talk you through it. You're going to give it a go. Now, just to start off with, and you're sitting here, we've been talking, so chances are you aren't super stressed or anxious, or you might be, who knows, who knows. But can you conjure up, or can you kind of get in touch with something that's stressing you out? You don't have to go full into a
past experience, yes.
Sure, sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, something that's still alive for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still a trigger.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and for now, for this moment, and again, when you're in the midst of it, it might be at a different level, and you don't have to share what that is for the moment. If 0 is very relaxed, almost asleep, and 10 is panic attack, mm-hmm. where are you at?
With this situation,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a 9.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and you can keep your eyes open. You can close them. You can open and close them as we do this, whatever you like.
Okay.
So, go ahead and keep feeling that. Keep feeling that. And start along the arms. But again, you can move wherever you like with this. Start along the arms. And then just keep thinking about that for the moment. And go along your face if you like. Under the eyes. And so you start to choose your rhythm as far as along your face, under your eyes, along your arms. So you just go ahead and you pick those spots. Okay. Keep feeling it. Just keep feeling it. Okay.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Okay. Then begin to say, and you can say this in your head, or you can say it out loud. Okay, so you can go, I am safe, I am hopeful, I am peaceful, I am calm.
I'm safe. I'm hopeful. I'm peaceful. I'm calm.
I am safe,
I'm safe, hopeful, peaceful, and calm.
keep doing that, keep
I'm
doing that.
safe, peaceful, hopeful, and calm.
Keep going.
I'm safe, peaceful, hopeful, and calm. I am safe, peaceful, hopeful, and calm. I am safe, peaceful, hopeful, and calm.
You can add on, this is a memory, not my current reality.
This is a memory, not my current reality. This is a memory, not my current reality. This is a memory, not my current reality. This is a memory, not my current reality. This is a memory, not my current reality. This is a memory, not my current reality.
Okay. Now we're going to add on. So keep stroking, just kind of keep doing that as I'm talking. So that is one practice. So that in itself, great.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than enough potentially. Okay, it just depends on the circumstances, the person. So just doing that, just even going, I'm safe, I'm hopeful, I'm peaceful, I'm calm, or this is a memory, not my current reality, and just going through the various areas. Wonderful. We're going to do an add-on. So this isn't necessary. This is maybe for variety, or an extra, or if things seem really intense, and this alone isn't quite doing it all. Okay, and even as you continue to do this, where would you say you're at now? If we're using that 0 to 10 scale.
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even this in and of itself
Yeah.
is taking you from a 9 to a 4.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We're going to add on another component. So I want you to keep, however you do it, don't worry about, am I on my arms? Am I on my face? Just keep doing something along those lines. And maybe, actually for this one, maybe along the arms will be easiest. And so you're going to close your eyes. We're going to increase how the delta brain waves are getting to your brain. And so you're going to move your eyes right to left. Your eyes are closed, but your eyeballs are going to go from the far right to the far left, from the far right to the far left, far right to the far left, far right, far left. One more time. Far left and far right. Keep your eyes closed, but your eyes can be normal now. And if you can, you're going to remember or bring to mind a time that was happy, or where you felt good, or where it was calm. Anything that feels good, any memory that you can conjure up at this point that feels positive to you. Is that available to you? Wonderful. So just hold that in mind in whatever way that works for you while you continue to do the havening. Good, good, good. And then let that go. And then you're just going to continue with the eyes again. So to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. And one more time, to the right, to the left. All right. Drop your hands onto your lap, palms up. And you're going to put in one hand, you can choose which one, the incident. You don't have to think about it necessarily, but all those emotions, the ones that, unpleasant ones, you can put that in one hand and keep that palm up for the moment. And then in the other hand, you're going to put peace, calm, hopefulness, compassion, love, any of those things. Does that feel possible?
Yes, it does.
Take the hand that has the peace, the calm, and overlay it onto the other palm and let that sift through, sift down. And in a way, it's expressing an appreciation, a gratitude for those emotions, even though they're unpleasant. Your body, your mind was doing its best to protect you. But letting that be overlaid, replaced with peace and calm and any other positive type emotions. All right. And then just let that all go and feel free to open your eyes. And again, if we look at that 0 to 10 scale, where are we at this point?
Wow. I feel like crying. I feel quite a bit of relief, actually.
Nice.
So it's a 0.
Okay.
Yeah, very neat.
So good. And the tears, and I know because, we're in this environment, it's like, but if you could, you would just let those tears go. Because the tears are often an emotional release. Yes. So as you yourself indicated, stuff is moving. Things are changing.
Yeah, and the thing that I focused on was loving this baby, and I couldn't go back and forth with my eyes because I was so focused on it for a little while.
That's okay, because
anyway,
you did what you needed to continue to clear that pathway, or at least the beginning of, because then you can see the next time that might occur, or if it occurs, is it as intense? And if you start doing that, if you start working with the havening, how quickly does it clear? And eventually, is there a trigger for whatever you were initially thinking about? So that's amazing. Good on you for doing so well, right? Obviously focused, and your body and mind responded very, very well. And as was mentioned, the tears is always a great indicator.
Tears of happiness.
Yeah, it's a release, right? I mean, there are studies where they've looked at the chemicals in various types of tears, and there are chemicals depending on what is going on and what's the body producing.
Oxytocin.
Yeah. Any final words?
Oh, that's fabulous. I mean, I didn't expect to cry.
Yeah.
But, I really connected with those feelings in a very deep way. Wonderful. The good ones and the bad ones.
Right. Thank you so much for taking part in this, Jerry. It's greatly appreciated.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Thanks for
Havening offers several benefits, particularly in managing emotional distress, anxiety, and trauma. It uses your own intrinsic systems to reset encoded event-specific biological markers or traumatic stress. And it removes their effects from your body and your psyche. It acts like an eraser, a biological eraser. This technique can be utilized when you are in the midst of a major stressor. It can be used as a preventative, but it can also be extremely useful when you are feeling or find yourself moving into major stress, anxiety, tension, anger, frustration. Even if you don't remember any of the techniques or aspects that were utilized during the practical portion, you can just use the touch part, the sweeping of your hands, right? Or along your arms, or along your face, the sides of the face or under your eyes. So even if everything else evades you at that moment of anxiety, even if you can just remember one of the points of sweeping, that alone will be helpful to begin to create those delta brain waves, to start changing how your body and how your mind is responding to whatever was the stressor. And a simple version is that you can keep repeating along with wherever you might be doing the havening touch. I am safe, I am peaceful, I am hopeful, I am calm. Or even just one of those words, I am safe, I am safe, I am peaceful, or I am calm. Whatever you can remember, or anything, any phrase that's related to that. You may find yourself feeling better within a minute, or in some cases it may take longer. Maybe it'll take 10 minutes. However, you will feel a difference as your brain begins to reprogram. It will go from feeling the major anxiety to where all of a sudden you'll start to notice that it doesn't have the same level of tension associated with it. And so as you continue, you'll find yourself moving within a relatively short period of time into a deeper state of calm and relaxation. The more you practice, the more you remove whatever that trauma, whatever that trigger is or was, as something that's going to stress you out into something that just becomes a memory.